back, and this time, there's not a whole bunch of weeks in between because I've been doing that for a long time, but I'm trying to be consistent. So, back to the uh, Bar and Lucy show, and we're talking about some current topics that's going on in this world right now, and some other things that we're going to be talking about during this podcast, and we're gonna hit on some topics, and then we're gonna also get some. We want the audience to also be involved too, like with certain
For sure.
things, and leave some comments if y'all have anything on your mind about the things we talk about. So,
Oh, absolutely.
um, but first thing first, the whole immigration thing is a big thing right now, going on, and pretty much all over the country. Um, and it's sad to see, and it's a lot of stuff that uh, a lot of families are getting hurt and stuff like that. So, we just wanted to touch on that and give our thoughts and views on it and whatnot. Um, Mainly my main view is like I understand certain things of immigration and why it is hard to have a lot of people come in, uh, undocumented, and like a rush of population in the United States because it can mess up like certain things with the government and stuff like that, like and like even like being able to take care of people, like funding and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
um, but like I don't know what would your thoughts be on like immigration as far as
I mean, I'm a big picture guy in general, so I always take a step back before even getting into what exactly is going on right now. How did we get here? That's the only way you're gonna, in anything in life, in my eyes, the only way you're gonna get into understanding what's going on right now, the current events of the world, of your life, of what's going on in the U.S. is if you learn your history of it, right? Or at least attempt to get an understanding of the history of things. And so let's not forget that each and every one of us, primarily, for the most part, at one point, we're descendants of immigrants, right?
yes,
We didn't just get dropped here
no,
and say, hey, take care of this area of land, and they got dropped there, take this care. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It's
So
don't forget we purchased stuff. Like we purchased land,
mhm,
and there were so many transactions that happened 2, 3, 4, 500 years ago in the world that affects what's going on right now. Like that's crazy to think about to me.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
it is crazy.
where we've gotten to the point now where we're just people treating people poorly
Yeah,
on all fronts, all sides,
yep,
everywhere, no matter what. There are bad characters on each side of the table right now. And I think right now we have poor leadership in some very, very important roles. Um, that's nationally, that's state level, that is locally. Like we have some poor leadership
yes,
going on. I think we need to look at that first and foremost. Like
yeah,
that's my big thing.
yeah. It's definitely about who's running this ship, who's taking charge of what's going on because I mean I feel like immigration's always been a problem, um, with every administration, but it's just how you go about things and what's the right way of doing it, what's the wrong way of doing it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a moral, compass. Like, okay, if I if I act this certain way, like going into a school and harassing kids that are trying to get an education, like that is totally wrong. Like nobody should still
Yeah.
think that's okay.
No.
But if you're going after immig- like immigrants or somebody that's like, bad seed who's been in jail a couple of times, who's not
Mhm.
creating any wealth for the United States, is just being uh, you know uh, uh, you know, a jail, just
Just
a
like a
jailbird.
nuisance.
Yeah, a nuisance.
Just a nuisance to society, like menace to society.
Yeah, I
You know what I
understand.
mean?
Yeah, I understand the criminals. Like, okay, yeah, like nobody wants criminals here. Okay, I don't, you know,
Right.
in your neighborhoods and stuff like that. But like, when I look at when I looked on TV and I seen this mother who wasn't on anybody's list as far as criminal or anything, and she worked her whole life and was here for 30 something years, and you trying to deport her back to something that she doesn't even know exists anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she doesn't know anything about that, like, over there anymore. You've been here for 30 years.
Wherever that may be.
Right,
'Cause
wherever.
it's not just let's get that straight. It's not just Mexico though.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
That's just the easiest. This country is the easiest at that border to seek asylum and slip through the cracks, so to speak.
Yeah.
And like you said, like a mom of 37 years has been working her tail off here, doing what she has to do, doing everything right except for being documented.
Yeah.
And she has to go back. Now, that's not to say that the first thing that people, well, why isn't she documented? Well, because the freaking system, let's go back to that.
Yeah.
The leadership of the system to actually receive citizenship here in the United States is outrageous.
It is outrageous.
We need to bring back that Ellis Island type.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? We all learned about Ellis Island. They literally got off the boat, got their paper, and got to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, now I understand it's a little different now. We are in a society that we are a lot more, we have a lot more resources or capabilities to do some really bad things.
Yeah.
Right, as people, as opposed to 200 years ago, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, when our friends and families, you know, like descendants, came over here to seek a better life. That's what everybody wanted to do. That's what they're still trying to do now, for the most part. Now, we understand that there are bad people. Here's what that kills me. It makes no sense, personally. And I had a conversation with this with a few friends earlier. It makes no sense that, like, you have people coming here to seek asylum, but they're burning the flag of the place they're at and waving the flag of the place they came from. That's where I'm like, I'm honestly confused. I'm not saying that's stupid. I'm not saying that's dumb. I'm just like, I'm not understanding where that makes sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
Like, you're burning the flag of the place that's giving you the freedom.
The asylum, yeah.
Or at least you're seeking the freedom in that place.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, in a way, disrespectful.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like, I
is.
will say that. I'm not saying it's stupid. I don't understand their thinking in that sense.
Yeah,
now,
I understand that.
the way they're treating these people like animals is crazy. Again, let's go back. Why are we at this point? Because it takes some of these people dozens of years to get through the situation of seeking, or not even seeking citizenship. There's people that have been putting in papers, and they're just pending.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's it's even worse now because, you know, with the administration that's in now, they started getting rid of a lot of, like, government workers that you know were trying to keep track of stuff and stuff like that. So, like, now, like, the system is
it's going to be worse.
Even worse.
It's going to be worse.
So,
I heard the weather is going to be worse because of that. I mean, the weather was already bad. Like, nobody can really predict it.
Yeah.
But apparently, like, now that you know, they're cutting funding to some of those federal agencies.
Oh, wow.
That's including, like, the meteorologists and the like top level weather people. And what's scary about that is hurricane season's right around the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how are we going to be able to predict exactly what is coming? What is going to happen? Yeah, that's the scary part. But it's a little bit off topic. Same thing though.
Definitely scary because, well, even was like the whole like, just in general. I mean, that's all part of the whole situation. Like, it's like administration coming in trying to make changes, like with current events. You know what I'm saying, that's going on, and it just causing a havoc of things. Like, you know, you got a lot of protesting going on.
Everywhere.
Getting,
There's a big one that's going to be happening all over. It's like 2,000 or so. I hear 2,000 protests happening across the country for
Oh wow.
No Kings protests.
Oh yeah.
Essentially, like
I think I seen that. Yeah.
I think it's. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on this. I think it's Trump's birthday or something like that coming up this weekend, and there's supposed to be some type of like rally or something other, and I don't know if that's gonna. Listen,
It's
a
tough.
lot of animosity towards our current administration. So
It's definitely, and I even like in my instance, my ancestors and stuff like that. It was like, okay, whether you got here because you wanted to be here or you was brought here, whatever. I mean, hundreds of years ago. It's still like this land technically wasn't anybody. It wasn't even the people who
right,
state.
yeah. You can't be what's the main phrase? You can't be illegal on stolen land.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
Hear that?
you're being a hypocrite because
Yeah.
basically you came in as an immigrant, even though it wasn't like a thing back then,
Mm-hmm.
and then you took over, and now you think that nobody else deserves to be here. Okay, yeah,
It's gonna hurt our economy
Yeah.
regardless, though.
and the United States thrives off of immigration. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, off the backs of immigration from the rip, the birth of the United States, even before the quote unquote birth of the United States, which 200 what was that 49 years ago, and I think I was saying descendants earlier, like we're descendants. I
Yeah.
was talking about ancestors. I just realized I messed that up, but yeah, like our ancestors, everyone, immigration. This country was built off of that. Like that's the craziest thing, and it's like we got to be more accepting on both ends. Like again, like I said, we got to be accepting of the people that are trying to seek asylum, that are trying to make for a better life, right? But we also have to be accepting from the other side of things of, hey, look, this is kind of like what you're coming into a country that has these laws.
Yeah.
We have amendments. We have things that you have to abide by. There has to be laws. Like we can't be a lawless country.
Yeah, no.
To make these people feel comfortable.
Yeah. No.
Right? Because even people that have been here, born here, raised here, everything, like there's people like that aren't comfortable with the amendments and the laws that we have already.
Yeah.
But the goal should be like, hey, look, we need to make everyone comfortable with, listen, this is how we're going to live.
Yeah.
To thrive as a country. And if you want to be here, we want to continue to be that melting pot. That's for everybody. These are the laws.
Yeah.
And again, that goes back to the leadership, making sure that we have the correct laws to make everyone not just feel comfortable, but work together to continue to make this country strive in the right direction.
No, that's correct. Because
I think we're actually closer to going in the right direction.
Yeah. I think
they want to be. They just want us to disagree.
Yeah.
And when I say they, I mean whoever it is controlling this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, at the end of the day, big corporations thrive off of turmoil.
Yeah.
Like when people are against each other. This has been years and years and years. So it's not something new. I mean, I hate the whole getting into the racial things and stuff like that because it's like, damn, how long do we have to be here to get some respect? Like or to stop this whole race war, you know what I'm saying? Like we can just be a people, And that's what America, was supposed to be built on. Like we the people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not we the, white, black, Chinese, Asian. No. So my whole thing is like you were saying before, like, you come here, you must abide by the laws. Like this, if we go in another country, we gotta abide by their laws, whether we like them or not, because or we gonna suffer some huge consequences. Like certain, like
Dubai has some crazy laws.
Yes.
Crazy laws. I think it's like we don't get slapped on the wrist and a citation for urinating in public.
Oh no, you don't.
Nah, it's jail time, brother. Like you're hitting. There's There's some crazy. I've had friends and family that have gone to Dubai that are like, yo, like, you better
that
lock
bad?
in. You better lock in. Like, even like regular day stuff. Like, I can't even remember some of it. That it was just like so crazy. Like, but Dubai has some. But it's
Yeah, I heard something
exactly
like
like
that.
you're
Yeah,
saying, man. You go over there. You
gotta abide by it at the
know
end of
what
the
I
day.
mean?
Like Brittany Griner,
The
she
Brittany
went up.
Griner situation. It sucks, but what was everyone saying? Like, hey, she should. But it was like it's their loss. It sucks. The law sucks.
Yeah.
It's extreme. We get it. But I guess you kind of have to look at it that way too.
Yeah.
In a sense of like maybe our laws are too extreme, but it's like,
Yeah.
are they?
But
I guess that's ultimately the question.
I get that, but also if you think the laws are extreme, you can like try to get into government, or you can start doing like
I see.
certain things.
You're saying current citizens.
Yeah, current citizen. Like if
For
like
sure.
even if you're not like even if you're off a visa, like you still have rights. Like you can get into like petitions and stuff like that, and start stuff like to try to change laws to better suit everybody. You know what I'm saying? But like if you just saying, oh, this I don't like this law, and I'm not gonna follow this law because I don't like it. No, that's not how you supposed to think about it. Like how you supposed to go about it. Like if you don't like the law, like help try to change it, or get behind somebody who's trying to move and change that law.
Everybody's too busy, man. Everybody don't. Nobody wants to put their feet on the
No,
ground.
but
and
they want to
feet on
complain
the
about
pavement.
it, but they don't want to do nothing about it.
Yeah, if you comment enough on Facebook, that'll change the law, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah. Hopefully. Like I don't know how well that works.
Word on the street, man.
Yeah, but like just current, like I don't know. I think there's a medium that we can come to when it comes to
It's a sad state of affairs, regardless, man. Like something's got to give, and unfortunately, I'm a realist, and I know that there's going to be unfortunate events that are going to take place over the next. I mean, let's be real, for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
But we are at a boiling point.
Yes, for real.
Right now that we haven't seen as a country. That it's gonna. I think it's gonna get crazy.
I do too. I can see that coming. I just think it's been festering for years now, and we had a break in between the whole situation. Not saying I don't go one way or another, but like Trump's when he was in office the first time, there was a lot of this stuff going on.
Yeah.
And then we had a whole break with Biden. It was still stuff going on, but it wasn't crazy amount of things going on as far as race.
We did have that COVID thing. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. that was crazy. Yeah.
That was kind of crazy. That
crazy.
was, that was in that limbo time and what we were looking to do. And I mean, oh my gosh, go back to some of the stuff that we had to abide by then. Remember those rules? We were just talking about that.
Nuts.
Remember those rules? And people were fighting those. And hey, man, listen.
Yeah,
that was a different world.
I don't even know how we got through that, to be honest with you.
It seems like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
It really does. And it's funny how it's like, it's not funny. I'm just saying, like, it's a coincidence that is like its own era.
It is.
Oh, yeah, back in COVID times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I changed this during COVID. And it's like, oh.
COVID, like, I think that's where a lot of people got in tune with their mental. And then now it's like this whole mental thing.
Yeah.
Because you had no choice.
I think they lost their mental, too. Like, literally lost their mind, and you had no choice. Like you said, you either found it or you...
Yeah.
Some people are still struggling with it, man, and I get it. I get it.
And you really found out if you liked somebody or not because you were stuck with them in the house. So there was probably a lot of like breakups during that time too.
Yeah, I went the other way.
But
I proposed to my lady.
Yeah,
but said, listen, if I get through this,
yeah, that I mean, you made it through. But I was saying some people who like say like the person didn't like two people didn't really know if like they were really
that's
made
a big
for
thing.
each other.
Yo, listen, I say it all the time. You never really know a person until you live with them through like a whole year.
Yeah,
Live with them. Like there is no like, oh, she has an apartment, he has an apartment. No, no, no. When you live with them for like a whole year to see
Yeah.
what the ebbs and flows are, what coming home from work is like, what a bad day is like, what a good day is like, what hey man, not having a job is like you don't know a person. And so 2020, 2021 showed us that.
True colors came out.
It did. I'm a firm believer in that, man. Firm believer in that.
But I can go back and I just remember I was like, I've never seen like a whole world shut down. Like I never like never ever.
Oh, I remember the streets of Italy.
Oh my god.
Remember that?
Yeah.
They were like one of the first
Yeah.
that they were like, nah, don't you come out of that house. And they had people patrolling the streets, man.
Yeah. They did.
And it was just them.
They was in what was it in China? They were like boarding up people's doors.
Oh
and stuff.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, walking around in the big old suits and whatnot, man. Oh my gosh, what a world. That was different.
I don't even want to think about that no more.
Yeah, listen, we gotta do whatever we can never to go back to that.
Ever.
Oh my
we
gosh.
can't do it. We can't do it. But what I also wanted to come up with this another current event.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about the immigration
what's
stuff,
happening
yeah. But the whole new law with PA with the driver's license, not driver's license, I'm sorry, with the cell phone thing. Like you can't like they can pull you over even if you're not texting. Like as long as the phone is like on you, like if you're holding it or something like that.
I'm so serious. I thought that was a law the entire time.
I did too. But
it is in Jersey, right?
I think so.
I could be.
I could definitely be wrong too, but
yeah, it's like hands free or whatever.
Yeah. But now they cracking down on it or something.
Okay.
But I was like, I don't know if this really changed anything for me because I thought the cops, like, how would they know if you was texting or not? They pulling you over because they see the phone, not because you texted.
That's what I mean. I always thought it was a thing. Anyway, I see a cop, I put the phone in my lap. Like, what, like I could be changing a song.
Yeah.
You know, like Bluetooth, all that kind of stuff. I could be going through that. Like, it's interesting for sure. I think, like again, I thought that was always a law. So I tried to, navigate one way or the other where I'm like, all right, I'm not.
Yeah, not around a cop, right?
Yeah,
so.
But
I wonder, like, with that new law, like, are they trying to, like, you think things are going to, like, be different? Like, you see more and more people getting pulled over? Or
I guess naturally, yeah. Like, like, I don't know if this is a myth or not. Do cops actually have, like, quotas?
So I
traffic cops, I guess.
Yeah, I talked to a cop one time and he was like,
I never actually asked that before.
Yeah.
I've always heard that, like, oh, it's the end of the month, they're trying to get people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I know in Philly, I know because I knew a cop from Philly because I did some work for him.
mm-hmm.
And he was like, nah, we don't have quotas. It's not. But I don't know if
maybe they should. I'll tell you what, we're talking Philly. Maybe they should have quotas because my goodness gracious, people in Philly are the worst drivers.
Terrible.
The worst.
Terrible.
They should.
I hate
Philly PD. You might.
I hate even going down like Center City. Oh my god! I was just there the other day picking up some furniture, and I was like, "This is insane." Yeah. Like I can't even like, and I have a truck, so just imagine trying to move.
That's a different beast.
Trying to move down
trying
there.
to get through some of the smalls. There's nothing. Nah, I got nothing again. I love Philly as a city in terms of like the culture, things like. But man, I'll tell you what, it's.
Yeah.
I feel like it's changed just in my adult life.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely.
10, 15 years of adult life, like it just feels like it's shifted away from being like the city of brotherly love. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like a crazy part too. And like I feel like half the time, here's the thing too about the phones, right? Philly's a main culprit. I go through half the time I'm on the phone, like, and whatever I'm changing a thing or whatever, and I look over, or I'm sitting at a light, and I'm like, all right, I can change the song at a light or whatever, and I go to do that, and I look over, and like it's a Philly cop or something, or a cop or whatever, and they're on their phone sitting over there too.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They
oh,
on the
all
phone
right.
too. Yeah. Yeah, Philly's, man, it's another
I
beast.
get it, but
Yeah, it definitely changed over the last years, though, a couple of years, because I like nowadays I don't think I mean certain spots I guess I
Yep.
just wouldn't even be bothered with being down like ever. You won't catch me down there, not at night, but
Listen.
but it's like
Listen.
with with the whole like um phone thing, I'm just like I just don't want to, cause the one video I seen, the guy was eating a sandwich. I don't know if you've seen this video, but he got pulled over, and the cop was like, "Oh, you was on your phone." He's like, "I wasn't on my phone," and he had like cameras in his car, so like he's recording the whole thing. And he's like, "I was on my phone." He's like, "Well, I seen you on your phone," and the guy was like, "You see me eating a sandwich,"
Mm.
and the cop just would not stop saying like he was on the phone. So
Yeah.
like, but he already had a video of it, so like he could prove in court he was on the phone. But it's just
Right.
like you're being pulled over for anything that's in your hand. Like it could be, I don't know, like a toy or something. Like maybe your kid threw
Yeah.
something that you pick up a toy and then trying to reach back, and then now they point you over in that sense. Think it's just like unnecessary.
But
Like,
I get the idea. Like, I mean, how many, traffic situations, tragic or not, like, do you get that happens because of distracted driving,
Yeah.
one way or the other? Like, you can say it's because of your cell phone, or because, like you said, it could be anything from the toy, right?
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, it's a very guilty pleasure of mine. Like, I text and drive. I gotten better with it. It's a little easier, especially now with like a watch. If I get a text, I can quickly like look, or it pops up on my screen.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, like it's a guilty pleasure of mine. It sucks. Like that's something I definitely would want to get rid of for the sole purpose of what I guess they're trying to do. But to your point, how easy would it be to mix up a sandwich with a phone?
And now you're pulled over. And then that just also goes into almost immigration stuff. Now that you're being pulled over for a phone, they can start questioning to see who you are, and then next thing you know, it could cause even more issues.
There's
you know what I'm saying?
reasonable cause for the
pullover
situation. Yeah.
But then I want to also say, like, remember that accident? I don't know the accident that happened on 422 with the truck came over the median,
the dump truck.
yeah, and then flipped over and hit a car.
Right.
I drove past there because I got to go to work, and rest in peace to the guy that passed away. That was a tragic moment, but like my whole thing was like, me personally, I don't know because I pay attention to 1,000 things. I don't know how fast the truck was going, and please don't take this, like, anybody take this the wrong way, but my question is, like, was that driver in the car, that the one that passed away, like, was he on his phone that he didn't see the dump truck coming? Because, or maybe he could. I don't know. I don't know what the situation was, but
It's such a nasty situation, though. Like it's yeah. Like you're not. How prepared are you to look across the highway?
Yeah. I just
You're
wondering.
never
that.
thinking that because
No. You wouldn't think that was going to happen.
unfortunately, it's obviously very, very rare that it happens. But like you're not looking at, and that curve, that's when people start picking up that speed to try and get that long. You know what I mean? And so like,
or maybe the guy that was on the truck was on his phone and then lost control.
Listen, I'm not an investigator, so I'm not even gonna infer.
Yeah, but
not
I don't
even
know
gonna-
either. But
I
I'm just
hear
saying
you.
there's
I
a lot
hear
of
you.
things like you
But everybody goes right away to that thought, distracted driving. And it's like, okay, if we're thinking that, like, let's be better ourselves, though. Like, we can't be thinking that they're doing it, and just because we haven't been in a tragic situation like that, we can't be doing it too. So I gotta hold myself accountable to that too.
Yeah. So it's definitely important. Like, I get the whole law. I do get it.
Yeah.
But I just I thought that law was already in existence. So just adding some extra stuff to it, it was just like weird to me.
Yeah, I guess it'll be interesting. I guess only time will tell. We'll see where it goes from here, because they're not gonna revert back.
No,
They're not gonna go back and say, "Oh yeah, you know what? Never mind.
No,
We don't have enough tickets for that."
If anything, they're gonna
We're not going to
go
waste our
more.
officers' times. No, yeah. It's only going to be more laws
Yeah.
on that topic.
Yeah. Any other current events you can think of?
Current events? No, not really. Not like major, I guess.
Yeah, the time is it's a weird time. Get past this. We'll touch on this, but it's it's not. We're not gonna go deep into it. But like the whole DEI thing.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
No. Not a fan of DEI.
Yeah.
Just hire, man. Hire the right people. Regardless, you don't have to put a policy in place. I feel like you're doing too much now.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've been discriminated against.
Yeah, that's definitely obvious.
As African Americans, as colored people, as whatever. Like, there's discrimination that happens regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's the nepotism of things as well. But it just goes back to just be good people and have good leadership. You won't have an issue with this. I hate the DEI idea that it has to even be put into place, and then it seems forced.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just because, so now you're telling me because this is in place, we're now hiring these certain people and including more people. That's your way of including people. It's like,
that's not.
Just because you're hiring them doesn't mean you're treating them correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's just the first step. So, like, let's be a little bit more. Let's not force it upon people.
Yeah, that's my.
You know what I mean? Hire
thing.
the most qualified person.
The DEI itself, like the way it was, like created, wasn't beneficial to anybody. I mean, really anybody.
Yeah.
And it really turned, like what people who got hired through that kind of stuff, it turned them into being looked at as someone who didn't deserve to be there. You know what I'm saying? So now, like, you have a program that's creating people that, not saying they don't deserve to be there, but now people are looking at them like that.
Right.
And, a lot of it is like, for me, I never got hired, I don't think, off of no DEI mess because, like, I know
that's
what
like
I'm
a
worth.
running joke, though.
Yeah.
That's like a running joke. It's like, oh, yeah, that person might be a DEI hire. I've seen that, like, online. Like, oh, yeah, that's a DEI hire. And it's like, oh, gosh.
Right, and that's why I say I don't want to be looked like. I don't want to be hired through no program like that because my whole thing is like would never use that program to diminish anything that I accomplished in my life. That's how I feel. Like because if you use it, like the whole thing when they came in and they said, oh well, all the DA hires, we're getting rid of them and stuff like that. And next thing you know, planes start falling out of the sky. But we're not gonna touch on that.
Oh
but
gosh, that's a.
Like, there was no planes before that, but now all of a sudden they're falling out the sky. But, like, my whole thing is just, like, that whole DEI thing was just like, okay, well, there is a problem, but I don't think that's the solution. And I think there's a better solution. My idea of a solution is let's stop hiring people by like, seeing, like, okay, for an example. Let's put somebody on paper, like they're who they are, not their real name, because you can tell who's black, who's most of the time. Like,
you're not telling on my name.
It's not on your name, but but Javar,
you're not.
Come on,
yeah.
It's a made up name.
You're God at that point, man. Me, they have no idea.
Right. But I mean, certain people you can see, like a Patel or something like that. They're like Indian or something like that.
I hear you.
But like, so put somebody on paper as John Doe, a serial number or something, and get their whole, background of, what their skill level is, stuff like that. Do an interview, but like, somehow we gotta do an interview or find out, like, without having to hear their actual voice or something. Somehow we can get, even if it's AI, like, and hire based off of that. That way you can never see who they look like.
Right. But
and you won't be able to discriminate.
that person to person
It,
piece
I do believe in that. Yes,
is the most valuable
I do.
thing, in a hiring process, I would believe.
Yeah,
I know from being a hiree, like being in an interview process, like I would want to be face to face. I would want you to see that I'm a confident African American male, mixed African American male, that I'm qualified. But I want you to see who I am too, because I want you to understand that I'm qualified for this job, and I'm here to make your company, the position you're asking me to do, better,
yeah,
regardless. And I feel as though when I'm in front of someone that way, I will be able to put that nail in the coffin a lot better. Now, I understand that the system in general, the big system, has held us down for so long that I feel DEI was another one of that throw it on the wall and see if it sticks, affirmative action type thing.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's just another one of those things that to stifle the system, let's get back at them. And it's like, at some point, we had to realize we got to stop being check boxes.
mm-hmm.
We got to stop being the hires or the promoted, because that's a big thing in the DEI part of it as well. Is like, okay, we got to promote not just the the minorities are getting higher positions or just in that position. It's just like we got to stop being checkbox. Like, okay, hey, it's cool to say 70% of our upper management are female. That's awesome. That's great. But was that just a checkbox for you? Like, was it your goal just to get to 70% just to say that and promote it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or were 70% of your upper management women that are women, were they qualified to get that job? Yeah. Which I believe can be the case, but it shouldn't be that it's a checkbox. That's the standard. You know what I mean? Whatever that may be. And so that goes back to having leadership, just being good people to promote this the correct way and say, hey, I want you to hire the most qualified person, period. And it doesn't have to say anything in between those lines in the small fine print, but we know that the system historically has stifled us and has kept us down and put their foot on our necks for so long not to be able to get up and be able to move up.
Yeah.
But we've, through hard work, through perseverance, through understanding that system, again, going back to what I said at the beginning of this, is knowing our history will help us with current events. Yeah. It's the same thing. We got to know what has worked in the past and what has not. And I feel like we just do a bad job as a whole, as a society. We, the people, do a bad job at that in all aspects.
Yeah. Well, I mean, study shows also that diversity actually is better for businesses. So,
that's a no-brainer, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's a no-brainer.
I can't see
you get different perspectives into products, into whatever it is that you're selling, whatever it is that you are building, whatever. You get different perspectives on how to make it work for everybody or for a certain person.
Yeah. And any business that thinks that, diversity is not helpful, is basically chopping off all their legs, like, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Because, now you don't have multiple, like, views.
I don't think I want to be diverse at all. I just want to, we're just going to be, very simple. that everybody's going to look the same, and that's how it's going to go. It's like, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
We see where you stand. That's the thing that is, like, a lot of these companies expose themselves that way, though. Yeah. And now it's like it's overexposure the opposite way. And I think, like, Target started realizing that a little bit, and I know Target's taken a major hit since removing their DEI policies and things like that. But it's like, I go to Target now, it looks the same as when I did when they had the policies in place. Yeah. There's nothing that I feel has changed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, it's stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's behind the scenes, and like what they promised to the community, the Black community, and then pulled back because of, like, here's my thing about the Target thing. Mm-hmm. I get the whole, like, I don't like shopping at Walmart at all because I can't find.
Why?
Well, depend. Okay, so the Walmarts that I'm around are usually like in the Norristown area, and
Okay.
it's always like when I go in there, shit is just everywhere. Like it's never in a spot that it's supposed to be,
Yeah.
and then no one's around to ask anything. Like the employees, I don't know if they be hiding. Oh, I've never seen employees like just
I haven't been to the Norristown Walmart in a while, so I can't even speak on
just
it.
chilling, like trying to help. It's hard to find somebody in there.
I see.
So, and then like now and the one in Norristown, they trying to move towards like you checking yourself out, like so, so they don't even
They're
have
moving
like
towards. They're getting more people to check out, like
no
self checkout.
yeah self checkout. So now they're moving towards the self checkout thing. So
That's
so
a bold move, Walmart. A bold move.
so there's never nobody on the cash register, but that wasn't. It was like that even before they started moving towards that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you have one lane to go into.
I think Target's going the opposite. I think they're like backing down a little bit on their self checkout.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's funny. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, my whole thing is like, I get the whole like self checkout. If you want to be quick, real quick, or whatever.
Right.
But like, having I think society, like the government, just wants people not to be personal, like to each other, like speak to each other and be like,
right. You can't have a hi, hello.
Yeah.
Listen, real talk.
That's
we could talk about that on another episode because I got time.
I
I
think
got time on another episode. Boy, I'll talk about that. Yeah.
So I started migrating into Target because my Walmart experience or whatever.
Okay.
So I was like, I just like Target better, and the whole boycott thing, and I'm like, okay, like I want to be supportive because I didn't like the fact that Target, like, okay, if you decided on your own to back out of something, that's your decision, but because some administration is saying something and you just trying to kiss somebody's ass, that's what I don't like.
Right. And I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Like, I think that's really important, too, because, yeah, I mean, that's just everywhere. But, again, it goes back to the leadership. But, yeah, it's something that should be addressed for sure, like, just because yeah, I'm with you.
So, but, yeah, this was what time? It's a good topic. I mean, it's good.
Sure.
And, like I said, we're back, and hopefully this can continue on. We're gonna have some bangers for y'all. We have a lot of topics that we have in mind.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get some guests on too. Some like some professional, like in certain aspects of like doctors or stuff like that. If we go into health and stuff like that,
Right.
So we look into that. But like, thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this episode and leave likes and comments if y'all can. Support us.
Talk to us. Yeah.
So, peace out.